Has childcare become a dirty word? I hear so many programs emphasize we are not daycare, we are preschool. Or parents want to know that their children's time here is worthwhile, right? We're doing learning, we're a preschool, or we don't just take care of children's basic needs and play with them all day. We're doing real learning, we're a preschool. And for some reason, this distinction between daycare and preschool seems really important. And so much so that, places correct people when they say, oh, no, 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 we are not a daycare, we are preschool. And I think the idea behind it is to highlight that education is happening in this space, right? We're not just a place to park children, we're actually teaching. I think another reason is to professionalize early childhood educators, right? Again, like we're not just babysitters, we're actually teachers working in a preschool. But I think something's a little bit lost in this transition. Something important, right? The idea that we early childhood educators are nurturing learners. Relationships are integral to learning if you are following a constructivist educational philosophy. And unstructured play, sensory experiences, yeah, fun with caregivers is actually learning. Hello, I'm Nicole Trevillis-Fravel, and this is Wildwood Teaching. And today I am making the case to erase the distinction between daycare and preschool. I want to put the child care back into preschools because care is integral to education. We don't have a problem accepting this when children are infants. We recognize that secure attachments, talking a lot to babies, singing, speaking to them, responding to their utterances, getting down on the floor and playing with infants, right? Letting the infant take the lead, right? Following what they're doing, wherever their gaze is or whatever they're touching, and then giving them the language for it, giving them extensions for what they're already paying attention to. We know too with infants that taking care of their basic needs, feeding them, diapering are all opportunities for learning, for bringing in language, for bringing in that care to somebody who is taking care of your needs. And then we have this misconception that as children age and they become preschoolers or even elementary school teachers, that they somehow need more. But they don't actually need more. They just need the same things in different ways. They need a caregiver and an educator who is responding to what they're doing and exploring along with them to help them explore, get language, right? And it comes within a secure attachment. And so research from 0 to 3 shows that the active ingredient fueling children's development is their relationships to parents, caregiver, teachers, whatever adults are present in their lives. This is the core of constructivism, right? That meaning and knowledge are socially constructed and spring from the interactions among the people within that social group. So in our forest, the children and the teachers are always collaborating. And not just in play. Of course, we're collaborating in play, but in the work of the group, right? We prepare meals together. We're in the garden together. We build structures together. We gather supplies, right? For whatever crafts we're doing, for cooking, for building fires, right? We are doing this caring work together that is building community that we are learning within. So in fact, many studies of high quality preschools show that the warm and nurturing interactions are directly linked to not only children's social competencies, but their academic success. And this makes total sense if we look at it through a viewpoint of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In Maslow's hierarchy, safety, both physical and emotional safety, and belonging come first. They're necessary prerequisites before children can be interested in taking risks, being comfortable doing what's necessary to learn. So if we want children to learn academic skills, we need to first make sure that we have created that caring, nurturing environment that allows the soft skills to flourish, right? That gives them self-regulation, which is related to safety. Do children feel stable, protected? Do they know how to get their needs met? Can they appropriately ask for help? Do they feel comfortable asking for help for whatever they might need to flourish? And do they have the social emotional skills built from their bonds with caregivers that are necessary for any community to function? Does the environment present an appropriate amount of interest and challenge and care for them to build this confidence, this self-esteem, problem-solving skills? And then if the answer to all these questions are yes, then children have a necessary foundation to take the risks that will teach them academics. And this care is built into nature-based environments, in our slow pace, in our nurturing of exploration, in our following the children as they explore the forest, in the idea that we are a community of humans that are part of this larger community of nature together, right? So when parents, informal community programs, professionally staffed early childhood services pay attention to young children's emotional and social needs, as well as all of the cognitive needs, right? Their mastery of that emergent literacy, emergent math skills, then we have the maximum impact on the development of children's brains. And that is what prepares them for success in school. So in our nature-based programs, right, the teacher really thinks of themselves as a navigator, as a guide for the child's own journey. So rather than dispensing information, the educator needs to be the one who is paying close attention to the child, whatever their discoveries are, whatever their ideas are, whatever their bodily needs are, so that we can be that caring guide. The academic gains stem from focusing on the child as a whole, competent person, as an individual with, yes, individual interests and, yes, individual needs. So for all of these reasons, care is integral to being an early childhood educator. And so I completely understand the desire for early childhood education to be taken seriously. It needs to be taken seriously. and for what we do as early childhood educators to be seen as important and for us to be taken seriously as professionals. But making this demarcation between care and learning, I think, is a disservice to children and to the profession for what it takes to be an early childhood educator. And so instead, I'm advocating for educating families, parents, the general public, policymakers about the integral relationship between care and relationships and the development of the brain of the child, and then the tremendous amount of research and training that goes into how we as early childhood educators create these caring learning environments for young children. Hope you enjoy my little soapbox today. If you have the opportunity, pass the word on. Right? Bring care back into early childhood and the importance of it. And then join me here next week when I am going to be talking about the importance of digging in the dirt. I will see you there.